Hello Shiplake, hello everyone. Since doing all the exercise that you guys do is not really my cup of tea, I thought maybe I'd do something that was a bit more up my street, which is food. So I thought I'd demonstrate making some cheese scones for you today, since cheese scones are one of the best things ever in the world. And they're quite easy to make. So I've turned the oven on and I've put it to 200 degrees, and it's a fan oven, so 190, 200 degrees on the fan oven. And I've already greased my baking tray, ready for the scones. So over here I've got all the ingredients that I'm going to need. So we've got self-raising flour, that's 225 grams of self-raising flour already there. And I'm going to add a pinch of salt to that now. That's a bit too much. There we go. And then I'm going to mix it with the butter or margarine, which is very cold. This has come out of the freezer, and I've chopped it into little bits, which makes it easiest to mix with the flour. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this with our fingertips, which is the best way to get the consistency that you need. So I'm just rubbing it with the self-raising flour. I'm rubbing it between my fingertips like this. This will probably take a couple of minutes, and you want to carry on doing this until you've got the consistency of sort of, it looks a bit like breadcrumbs. So I'm just going to do this for a couple of minutes. So that's the butter mixed in. That was 30 grams of butter. Now I'm going to add 30 grams of grated cheese. This is just extra mature cheddar that I grated already. That's 30 grams of that. No, sorry, that's 75. 75 grams of cheddar. And I'm just mixing that in very roughly. And then I'm going to make a well in the middle, like that. And I'm going to add the milk. It's 150 millilitres of milk, which I'm just going to mix with a normal cutlery knife to get it to come into a dough. And before it makes a whole dough, I should have done this with the milk, I'm going to add a pinch of dried mustard. So there we go. This dried mustard is probably older than some of you at Shiplake. And a pinch of cayenne pepper. There we go. And mix all of that in until I get a dough, which I can finish off with my fingers. So I've got a nice ball of dough that I haven't kneaded too much. If it doesn't look like this, you can add a little bit more water if it's too dry, or a little bit more flour if it's too wet. And then you're going to put it down on a surface that you've already put some flour onto. And we don't really need to roll it, you just need to make it into about like that. And this is a pastry cutter that I've dipped in a bit of flour. And I'm just literally going to put the scones onto the tray. So we'll go with another one. There we go. We're only going to get 3 or 4. Now at this point you can push it all back together. Don't knead it too much. Don't roll it out too much, just because otherwise you might end up with scones that don't rise very well. So you sort of push it back together again. There's another one. This one might just be the last one actually. Or maybe there'll be a little bit left over to eat, because personally I think eating raw dough is delicious, but I'm possibly alone in that. So there we go, we've got 4 scones, or you can use a much smaller cutter and have a few more as well. I'm just going to brush them with a little bit of milk to get that nice crust on the top. There we go, and then they can go into the oven for, I think it's about 15 to 18 minutes. Yeah, okay. So there we go, into the oven. So these scones have now had 17 minutes in the oven at 190, and they're looking good. There we go, so cheese scones, which are lovely with cheese and pickle and butter, but personally I just have them with butter and they are one of my favourite things in the world. So I hope yours have worked well. Enjoy. Thank you.